What kind of preacher gets stopped, questioned, and even detained simply for preaching? Not for crime, not for violence, but for a message that refused to stay quiet. That is the lesser told side of Benson Idahosa, a man whose boldness didn't just draw crowds, it drew confrontation. Long before global recognition, before packed auditoriums and international platforms, Idahosa was a young preacher in Nigeria with one driving conviction that goes, the gospel must be heard everywhere. And he meant it. He preached in open markets, on street corners, in places many people considered off limits. But Nigeria in those days wasn't always welcoming to that kind of bold public preaching. In several towns, public gatherings required permission, and not everyone was ready for a loud, uncompromising message echoing through their streets. So what happened when he showed up anyway? Tension, resistance, and sometimes intervention. There are recorded accounts from his early ministry years describing moments when local authorities stepped in, questioning his gatherings, dispersing crowds, and in some cases taking him in for interrogation. Not because he broke major laws, but because his presence disrupted the norm. Imagine this, a young preacher standing before officials, being asked to explain himself. Who gave you permission? Why are you gathering people here? What exactly are you preaching? For many, that would have been enough to step back, to tone it down, to play safe, but not Benson Idahosa. If anything, it made him bolder. Because of him, preaching wasn't a hobby, it was a mandate. And mandates don't bend under pressure. There are also well-documented confrontations, not just with authorities, but with religious opposition. At a time when Pentecostal Christianity was still gaining ground in parts of Nigeria, his message of miracles, healings, and bold faith challenged existing norms. Some leaders resisted him openly. They questioned his methods, they doubted his claims, they opposed his growing influence. But Idahosa didn't retreat. He confronted opposition the same way he confronted fear, head on. And that boldness became his signature. Whether standing before skeptical crowds, facing critics, or answering tough questions from authorities, he carried out one unshakable belief. If God sent me, no man can stop me. And history shows they didn't. When what started as small resisted gatherings grew into massive crusades, what began with questioning and confrontation turned into national and international influence. It went on to found ministries, build institutions, and become one of the most recognized Pentecostal voices to come out of Africa. But those early confrontations, they reveal something deeper. They show that the path to influence was not smooth. It was tested, it was challenged, and at times it was resisted. So here's a question. When faced with opposition for what you believe, what do you do? Do you step back or stand firm like Benson Idahosa? Because sometimes the resistance you face is the very sign that your message is making impact.